the delay. I hope that any of the color issues were fixed up, though. Getting back into it is Instaloch currently up 1-0 on Busan against Beer Pressure. I want to bring it over to our desk, though. What we do have a quick second. Booth, I understand you have some interesting stats for us. What you got, bud?
Yeah, we're going to be trying to track a little bit of some of the statistics going on in fights tonight just to see how it's able to help out the streams going through. So one interesting thing to note so far is that Instaloch had the first death in every single fight last night except for one fight, and that was the very last fight that they ended up winning. And they still ended up winning the point at the end. So pretty interesting there. You don't normally end up seeing that when teams end up having those first deaths. So interesting to see out of the side of Instaloch.
Yeah, now while we still have you in this pause, I want to get your opinion on how it's been looking for each team. You have those interesting stats. What have Instaloch been doing to turn these fights back around, even though they're losing members early?
So it's interesting. Normally, they kind of send in the beginning. They lost Ana most of the time, or their Mei early on in those fights. But realistically, I think it's just how they're using their ultimates, and because they're maybe not really investing as much as they need to, or maybe they're over investing some of their ultimates to make up for them losing early on in those fights. Or then they end up getting kind of aggressive themselves. So maybe the other side is kind of over investing some of their abilities to get that initial kill, and then don't have the follow up available to finish up the rest of the fight.
All right, thank you very much, Booth. We'll keep an eye out for that one, but we're already getting into the action here as Tarakton is stuck behind a Maywall. The rest of his team's going to be caught out here. Paper Sailor's dropped real low on this Lucio, and this fight is already starting off with a bang. There's a Widowmaker, though, locked in here by Retro Life. He's on a flank. He's searching for something. Slang Taffy is a menace in his front line, however, and there's not much he can do. You got to find that pick earlier, or else you're going to be dealing with the wrath of Instaloch right about now.
Yeah, very, very interesting fight here. We're seeing actually mirroring Zarya's. You don't really see that a lot. The big difference we have is we have Retro Life on the Widow here. Wasn't able to be super effective early on that fight. Had to wrap around the backside in order to be able to fire on the point. By that point, we had already seen 2 members from Beer Pressure fall down.
And yeah, Slang Taffy's actually gone off the map right now. He has to hurry back. And now Retro Life finds yet another pick here down on Sweet Bones. And that Mei is so critical. Now Slang Taffy's walled off. He's purple and he's going down instantly. Draxton takes him out with a charge. Now there's a Nano and Zarya all in his face. They're trying to buy as much time as they possibly can here for Instaloch. But he gets frozen up like the rest of his team right about now. Muscles does manage to stay alive. Cognitive Pit eating the bubble, and they just have to disengage and wait for their Reinhardt and Mei right now because they can't be taking this fight without him. The kills come out. Cognitive Pit's down on the flank. The Noon comes out, finds one under Guava de Jor. That's the main heals. Now down. Muscle's trying to focus down Traxton. Traxton just willingly throws himself off the map, realizes his shield not long for life. Slang Taffy's back here on this point. It still has not ticked over for Beer Pressure. 50% now down on this point, and they are nowhere near taking it.
A huge job from Instaloch there, kind of layering their ultimates one after another, waiting for Slang Taffy to get back. And when he finally gets back, they're able to control the point, of course, with Tarakton charging off point, trying to get a big pin and just flat whiffing, it looked like. So they were finally able to stabilize, and Cognitive Pit hitting a big Deadeye with Guava de Jor missing the sleep dart on him.
Yep, and now heading into this next fight, we're seeing 4 ultimates, nearly 5 charged up for the side of Beer Pressure. They're going to have a great opportunity to retake, if not their best one yet. They're going to start off with a Blizzard. Chuck down, it lands onto pretty much everybody here on Instaloch. Freezes up 2 of the members, including that Ana. That support now out of the way. Slang Taffy's going to have a hard time retaking this point. He's down already at half health, but his Zarya's getting focused down even faster. It's Muscles trying the beam, but not able to do much. Slang Taffy chucks himself right off the edge, accepts his losses, and is going to send this one into the next fight as that ultimate economy is evened up just a bit.
Yeah, that is the 3rd Reinhardt we've seen go off the map this point. So very, very interesting there. Should be a good fight coming up here. We've got almost 5 ultimates fully up on the side of Instaloch here versus just the Grav and the Nano, but those can both be fight-ending ultimates.
Oh, but look at where Instaloch have gone. They're completely behind Beer Pressure right now. They've gotten the wrap in. However, the Graviton Surge is going to be dropped from both sides. Flank Taffy gets slept out of his shield. It's a pretty even fight right now. The Sound Barrier did get used, though, from Instaloch. They're not going to have that for the future. Flank Taffy nearly gets walled, but oh no! Oh, actually saves him by walling him upwards. Now the point controlled by Instaloch. It's all but free. Oh, finds the kill on the Paper Seller, however, and Cognitive Pit searches for more. Finds 2 kills with that shield advantage. And now with members down, it's going to be Beer Pressure slowly bleeding out member by member until this point is inevitably won over by Instaloch. First map head their way 2-0.
Yeah, you hate to see that from the May, but it happens. You're trying to get that wall just right, a pixel behind the Reinhardt, and sometimes you just miss it and you send him up with it, unfortunately. It happens. But we got Paper Seller here with the big play of the game on Lucio.
Yeah,
So he just dropped the life-saving beat, it looks like.
No, did he? The game
his-
system's been really busted towards supports on these last couple of patches. I'm not gonna lie.
It's definitely heavily favoring support.
All right. So now that was a 2-0 win in the books here for Instaloch. We'll send it over to our desk booth. How'd you feel about that second map?
I think the side of Instaloch looked really strong there going in. Their tanks really seemed to have good pressure over the point. You saw a Widowmaker open up over the side of Beer Pressure, I think it was. I think it was Beer Pressure that had that Widowmaker, and didn't end up being that beneficial, at least early on. They got a couple of picks, but nothing massive early on in the fight. So I think those tanks really did a good job. You saw also Trafton not able to get off too many big shatters on the side of Beer Pressure as well, which normally is, if you remember anything about last season with him playing, was a big win condition a lot of the times. So kind of shutting down a lot of that pressure that Beer Pressure could have had.
Yeah, and with that, I want to kind of shift it over to talk about compositions a little bit. You mentioned the Widowmaker, and I think there was some interesting stuff we got to see out of both sides. But as far as adaptations goes, Vala, what do you want to see differently here out of Beer Pressure if they want to take another map?
On the side of Beer Pressure, I want to see them be more aggressive. They were kind of passive. They let Instaloch kind of dictate where the fights were happening. Some of it was due to slow rotations, like we saw on one of those last fights there. Instaloch was just able to wrap around behind the point. Some of it's just slow rotation. So I'd like to see them speed up, play a little bit more aggressive, and try to play a little bit more in your face. They've been playing this kind of passive poke style composition, and I think that hasn't been working for them.
You heard it here. We want more aggression out of Beer Pressure. If there's a place to do it, it's going to be here on Volskaya as we head over to our assault map for the night. This map offers up a couple interesting propositions for team compositions. Is there anything map specific that you expect to see, Vol?
So you can see a lot of different fun stuff here, and it looks like we are going to see our first instance of double shield with Impulse on the Orisa, Teractin on his staple Reinhardt here. And that's something you can see on this first one because you can definitely fall back to point, or some teams like to just set up on the high ground. And then on the side of the attacking, you can kind of, you might see some divey compositions here because you do have a lot of high ground that you're going to have to move to, and possibly even some cheeky, some flanking on that far left side for some of the players, Genjis, Pharahs, Tracers, stuff like that. And we might have a Genji out of Sweet Buns here if he's not trolling us.
Yeah, I've seen Genji brought out by Sweet Buns before. It's a fairly big force to be reckoned with, and with bad heals Nano behind him, I think that's how they're going to look to break this first point open if they can't do it any other way, but they're looking to make their way through this initial choke already. Slingtaffy wrapped all the way around the point. In fact, the entire team making it through scot-free. However, Retrolife is above, and he can dish out a lot of damage on this Hanzo from this high ground. Slingtaffy's shield already going down. He's taking a whole lot of damage. Bad heals, the first one to go down, though. Eats an arrow to the dome. Slingtaffy, however, trades out into Teractin. There's no main tank alive for the side of Beer Pressure now. In fact, their second main tank will go down in Impulse. Now it's all but done for Instaloch. They've got this first point all locked up.
Yeah, like I was saying, slow rotations there. You saw Instaloch basically just ran in through the choke point, went to the left side, and actually beat Beer Pressure to the point. Even though Beer Pressure has a Lucio, they should have been much quicker on that rotation. So I want to see snappier rotations out of these guys. Otherwise, they're going to be getting outflanked all night.
Yeah, I like the positioning, though, out of Retrolife. It was actually pretty promising there on the Hanzo. Unfortunately, they weren't able to make more out of the fact that there was no Ana there for Instaloch. That fight went any longer. There's going to be a serious advantage headed the way of Beer Pressure, but they just lost their main tank far too early, and now they're playing all the way back on point. I do think this is something you've got to do with the Orisa, just play a little bit more passive, but they're going to pay for it as all that space is gained for free here by Slingtaffy. They're forced back, though. However, as both the bubbles are down from Muscles right now, and they've just got to play this one as patiently as they can, but there's so much poke coming out from the side of Beer Pressure, and that's it. It's all just too much. Sweet Buns is the first one to get punished for it, and everyone on the side of Instaloch is purple. They just got to back right off.
Yeah, finally that poke is working out for him, and that's one of the advantages you get from the double shield is you're going to have that extra sustain, that extra safety to shoot from, because when one shield fails, you've got another one ready to go right up in front of it. So hopefully we can see more out of Retro Life here.
Yeah, keep an eye out though. Sweet Buns ultimate charge is at 90%. The Nano is up and ready. They're going to be searching for that blade to try and win them this fight. Evates, however, is at 97% to his sound barrier. He's got the perfect counter. Will he be able to pull it off? The dash comes through from Sweet Buns, but the Nano in reaction. But then for Traction, oh my god, those Sling Taffy finds 3 with the slam. Another one down from the Deadeye of Cognitive Pit. The sound barrier used from Evates, but it might just be too little, too late here. The Bongo dropped on the side of the point, but there's just 2 supports remaining here for Beer Pressure, and they're not up to the task. Point start ticks over. We're searching for that first tick. Tank's coming back. It's a Doomfist in. Finds a kill down on Sweet Bun. Slang Taffy gets shattered out by Teractin. They've got a solid chance. This one, the Deadeye's locked out as well. Slang Taffy has to hold shield, but they can't touch this point. Another tick headed over the way of Instaloch as the push continues. Muscles is full charge and a great anti-nade out of Bad Heals. Is almost certainly going to look to seal this one up. Evates though is doing a great job of this stagger, and Empress stays alive nonetheless. The kills are starting to roll in. O comes back. That Doomfist punch is such a threat, and with the members slowly bleeding out, Instaloch are unable to finish out point B.
Yeah, very good job on the stall on the side of Beer Pressure there, but I like the cheekiness outside of Instaloch there, baiting out the sound barrier from Evates using the other ultimates they had, using the Deadeye and such, able to get that beat out, and then once there were no defensive ultimates left on the side of Beer Pressure, that's when they finally pulled the trigger on the Nano Blade. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get too much done with it.
Yeah, they've got a lot more to worry about now. They've swapped off of that Genji. They're going to be opting for the Tracer. Slang Taffy is close to a shadow, but that's pretty much the only ultimate that's going to be coming up anytime soon. Right about now, if he can catch somebody out. Oh, it's Sweet Buns instead. Getting domed again. That's the second time we've seen O do that just tonight. And with 4 members remaining, they're just going to get knocked down like nothing ever happened. That's an easy fight win there for Beer Pressure off of the pick from O.
Yeah, very interesting composition here. You're not seeing a lot of what I like to call the pulled pork composition, the Arista Hog, with that hold hook. So a lot of, it's very pick oriented. You have the McCree, you have the Hog here, and of course May does do 150 with the headshot, so she can take the trace out. So we're going to see Sweet Bun switching over to the Mirror May here. So we're going to see some wall wars coming up, it looks like.
Yeah, there's questions to be raised about how much Sweet Buns has played May. If you don't start on it, it doesn't improve my confidence on the fact that you may or may not have played. And there it is, already a missed wall, and that's not what you want to see. But the Shatter in the Graviton Surge, looking to close this one out. Cognitive Pit makes the most of it, dropping the Deadeye down on top. Third tick looking to go down, and Gravity Joy gets stunned before he can touch the point. That's it. It's going to be Instaloch finishing out with 2 minutes and 25 seconds remaining on the clock.
Yeah, huge grab from Muscles all map long, getting them off the point. And then a huge follow-up shatter on the side of Instaloch there, wiping out. Unfortunately, Sling Taffy did have to give his life for it, but you will always gladly sacrifice your life for a full capture there on the attacking side.
It's good stuff from Instaloch, and Beer Pressure certainly have a time to beat, especially considering the pace at which Instaloch were able to push point A there. That's where a lot of that time bank came from. That's going to be a tough one to match here for Beer Pressure. I'm interested to see what they run. It seems like Instaloch have been a lot more willing to run these wacky hero picks. That Genji didn't really do too much for them. It felt like the tank and support play was really what won them that one, and now we see Sweet Buns swap over to the Hanzo. I like this one here. It's pretty much the same thing that Beer Pressure were running minus the Orisa now, and so it's up to Beer Pressure to bring out something that they think is going to beat them, and they've got a Baptiste locked in. You think they're going to hold on to this one though, Vol?
I do actually, and I think this can help them be more aggressive. I would like to see them possibly, lamp around a corner, poke a little bit with this McCree, try to hit somebody, and then Lucio speed boost just right into him with the Zarya bubble and the Reinhammer. So you got a good poke here with this McCree, Hanzo. You're matching up with that on the DPS. So hopefully we can see some aggression out of them here with this Immortality Field.
Yeah, one thing I think that's worth noting is there's going to be a lot of shields going down here. And as much as the poke war may be a bit distracting, just focusing down these shields for this McCree and the Hanzo on either side could be very, very advantageous. Losing your Reinhardt in a situation like this where there's so much damage coming your team's way could be absolutely critical, and I think O might be the person to do that. This man's Hanzo is something to be reckoned with here as they start to look to make their way onto the point, but Instaloch are playing aggressive. They're going for it. Sling Taffy runs forward. Nothing comes of it. A smart disengage as the bubble goes down. Sling Taffy, his shield, though, is reaching that critical breaking point. Distracting slowly gaining edge, and that's it. First pick, Retro Life takes out Sweet Buns from the high ground. Retro Life has himself in a perfect position up on this high ground to deal with pretty much anything. The only thing keeping him in check is Cognitive Pit, but he just drops down with the rest of the team and is going to rely on the pure amount of damage that's coming out. Trackton countercharges, but the Nano goes down onto Slang Taffy, and his entire team gets shattered. His ignorance will be punished, but his hammer will not, as he swings through everybody. His 3 kills either way. Slang Taffy showing up big in the kill feed. Looks for a stun. Oh, he finds the charge on. Oh, that's huge. The damage is gone, and that's it. Instaloch, hold on.
He is actually 2 HP, folks.
He's a madman is what he is.
He's a 2 HP charge, the absolute Chad move. He does not care.
Tracton's thrown right about now, finding 4 kills in that fight, ending it off with a charge, but the spawn disadvantage is going to be there for Instaloch. They've got a lot of members waiting a long time to come back in. However, they do manage to get him a point just in time. The Deadeye will be dropped in from Retro Life. Not quite in a position to do too much. Tries to peek on the inside here. Will break the Ryan shield. That's going to be to their advantage heading into this fight. But Graviton's Surge dropped on top. The high noon as well. Sweet Buns finds the punch in that fight. Quickly wrapped up in a neat little bow here by Instaloch.
That is one of the unfortunate side effects of the BAP window there. The Zarya knows you're going to try to stand behind it, and since you don't have a diva to eat the grab, she can just yeet that bomb right in there. You get 3 or 4 people very, very easily, and just to follow up there from Slang Taffy and Cognitive Pit, just wrecking house.
Yeah, now we're heading into that last minute territory. This is not looking good for Beer Pressure. It seems like it's starting to fall apart here. They're going to try something a little bit different. They chuck the Graviton Surge on the map. Dragon's there to combo with it. No sound barrier to keep the team alive. Muscles, however, not going to be going down. The Nano goes down on a Slang Taffy, swinging through everybody on Beer Pressure's side right now. And nothing can stop this man from just dishing out the damage. Forget shields, forget tanking. He's dealing all the damage.
Slang Taffy is just an absolute alpha tonight. I think he was, again, another 10 HP there. Got the Zarya bubble. Was like, all right, I'm going in. No fear. Absolute trust in his team. And that's kind of something you like to see. He trusts his teammates very, very much. And I feel like that's going to be a huge advantage for them going forward in this match.
Yeah, confidence is really key on a hero like Reinhardt. Like, people joke about it, but if you don't think you're the best person in the game, it's going to be a tough one to play this tank, as now the point is ticking over for Beer Pressure slowly. They've gotten the positioning that they want, but they've got problems in their backline as Cognitive Pit takes out O, trying to get a little greedy, deal a little bit of pick damage, but not able to find anything. Shatter goes down from Slang Taffy. Tracton searching for the one in reverse, but doesn't find it, gets blocked out. 2, 3 kills, all up red in the feed, and Instaloch are searching for a full hold here on map 2.
Excellent job from Instaloch there, knowing that they have these ticks that they can possibly give up, not just rushing to the point 1v1 feeding and, you know, ended up giving up the point that way. They waited for 6. They put in a cohesive, you know, team-based push, and we're just able to get it here. And now we're going to see a panic touch from Impress on the ball.
He does manage to take over the overtime. Interactive makes it back just in time, but there's a Meteor Strike coming for him alongside a Graviton Surge. Oh my god, they're laying the ults on, they're laying them on thick. There's nothing the Beer Pressure can do about that one, and it's Instaloch taking map 2, heading up in the series 2-0, but don't count Beer Pressure out. They've got a halftime, and they've got more maps coming up. What do you want to see, though, changed over halftime, Vol?
I want them to, like I said earlier, they need to be crisper on these rotations. If you saw, they tried kind of the same thing that Instaloch tried on their attack, where they pushed left, wrap around, and Instaloch was there waiting for him. You already had the Hanzo there. Retro Life was on the higher ground, able to get the opening pick. However, they were able to just push them off. They're very much staying as a team, so I would like to see Beer Pressure try to kind of be more aggressive, trying to be that spear and just try to split through that team and try to force them off to the side, whether it be through ultimates or just pure pressure on the middle of that composition.
That's right, and it's been a strong start here for Instaloch as we head into half. Before we take it to half, however, I want to go ahead and give you guys a heads up. There will be a poll appearing in chat. I believe we're searching for who we think has been the MVP of the match so far. Go ahead and throw your vote in, and we'll figure that one out after halftime. But keep glued to your seats because we'll be back in just about 10 minutes. Welcome back, everybody. It's your Discord match of the week. It's currently halftime as Instaloch are up 2-0 up against Beer Pressure. We're heading into a map 3 here, and Beer Pressure are searching for their first foothold back in the game. They've had their time during halftime to get a little pep talk in them, get their stuff. I had a good halftime, got my water, got my orange slices. How are you guys doing, Vol?
I'm doing excellent. I got my water again. I am very, very excited to see the changes that these teams are going to make over the halftime coaching sessions that they're having.
Yeah, and I know there's one thing we talked about we really wanted to highlight. It's got to be Impers. This man has been a critical piece here for Beer Pressure in their short time this season. However, I feel like tonight he hasn't really locked it down on the Diva. I want to see a swap off onto that Zarya, especially here on King's Row. What do you think, Vol?
I'm with you actually on that. I would love to see him swap onto the Zarya to feel again. That would help, I think, initiate some of the aggression that I want to see out of them. I feel like he's just not eating enough damage coming in on the Diva, and I feel like if they can just bubble Terractin on the way in, just get that charge up, and just WN1 into the team, and just force them to play, against you. Because right now, Instaloch is controlling the fight, so they're controlling the speed. So they need to take that away if they want to get this reverse sweep on the way.
Well, I think they heard us because Emperor just swapped over to the Zarya here. I'm interested, though, to see why neither team is picking Mei. King's Row is a particularly powerful Mei map, and not running it here on the first point could be a fairly critical piece of this equation that Beer Pressure need to win this map. They're starting out with the Doomfist McCree, Mercy Brigitte. This is a composition that is very all over the place. What do you expect it to do? Okay, there's a swap over to Lucio. What do you expect?
I'm more concerned about this defensive double sniper that we're seeing out of Beer Pressure here. Unless you get an opening pick, they are just going to get absolutely run over by this Kree Doomfist. And it looks like they recognize that, and they're going to push in early.
They are. Terractin already being forced back. He gets the bubble, then gets stunned out and downed immediately. That's a lot of damage, but a great anti-nade here out of Bad Heals. Buys them a whole lot of time, but it's not going to be keeping them alive for much longer. Emperor is trying to push down on this point, but that Zarya is now out of the way, and there's 4 members of Beer Pressure running for their lives from this point right now. It looks like this one's going to be taken just as quickly as the previous map.
I mean, the Reinhardt Slang Taffy's already pushed up all the way to the pub before they even cap the point. I mean, they are just showing no respect here for Beer Pressure, just imposing their will on them. Domination on that first point.
Retro Life finds a pick down onto Lucio. That's going to demand a little bit of respect here. Terractin might be able to push up to this choke, and that's exactly what they want here. Beer Pressure now have a good position to hold. Will they be able to do it? Because that first point is rough. They've got a lot of time to make up. Emperor starting to choke down, but oh man, there's a Doomfist in their backline. Sweet Buns is sneaking his way around. He's sniffing out of support. Will he be able to find the Ana inside of the pub here? His team's waiting for him. No, he is. That's the big question right now. I think he's been found out. He's got to back off. His team's starting to push in now. Terractin's in a lot of trouble. Both bubbles have been used in this Reinhardt battle, starting to go the way of Slang Taffy. The Nano's down onto him first. The Dragon Appeal, great separation. Oh, takes out Cognitive Pit. The Shatter comes through, doesn't hit Terractin. Now it's his turn to get that Nano. Finds the pin down on the Slang Taffy. They're going to hold strong on this card currently. Gets purple, has to respect it. Holds that shield up for just a second before he inserts himself back into the action. Takes out Bad Heals, and Retro Life's going to clean right back up here as Beer Pressure stabilized in a very, very good position.
Yeah, very high risk, high reward comp here on the side of Beer Pressure, and they get the opening picks, which is oh so necessary. If you,
Ooh,
retro, please. Ooh, like I was trying to say that, if you don't get that opening pick, like we just saw out of Retro, it can be very, very tough because you do not have a lot of team fight damage, so to speak. Here, you need to get your poke in before the fight starts.
Forget poke. We're chucking in Graviton Surges. We're dishing out the damage on top of those. Oh, going to be sending in that Storm Arrow. Deals a lot. Managed to take out the Ana. And another pick just buys a good bit of time off that clock here for Beer Pressure. They're starting to add on some time onto that rough first point defense. And there's another one. Oh, finds the Dome of Sweet Buns with an arrow. And that's a lot of time off this clock just on picks alone.
Yeah, they're doing an excellent job here, kind of getting these stagger picks right when Instaloch wants to push. There's always seems to be a Hanzo or a Widow on the flank, just click in somebody's head, and just at the least opportune time for the side of Instaloch, it seems.
This might be an opportune one for Instaloch. Goes for the shatter, misses it. Tarakton unable to pull through for his dragon drop through, trying to separate some people off. Not going to be doing so. Slaying Taffy finds one onto Impulse now. And with that, Zarya now out of the way. That's a lot of damage that gone. And Retro Life just has something out for Paper Seller, I swear.
Did he say something in Discord to him or what? I mean, this man has a vendetta against Lucio's.
Yeah, Paper Seller's having a rough time, but his team is more than happy to push this cart forward and continue on. They've got 2 nearing on 3 ultimates set up in the bank, and the only thing to counter it will be the Nano from Guava de Jour, probably going to be going down here on a Tarakton. If he can start to play a little bit more aggressive with that, I think that might be able to Nano a fight if he plays it well. But no, it's Impers getting that Nano in a very neutral position. They can't really push up too much here. And yeah, there it is, the Nano on the Slaying Taffy allows him to find that shatter, lands onto 3 people, looking to clean up afterwards, takes out Tarakton, the Nano. Pardon me, then Ryan springing through distracts you from the Deadeye in the back line. That's going to be the second point taken over here by Instaloch.
Yeah, kind of a pick your poison there. Do you want to target the Nano Ryan or do you target the Ultimate Kree? Either way, one or the other one is going to take you down. That was a very, very strong push outside of Instaloch there. And I love it when you kind of give that team, well, we got 2 options here. We're going to beat you with either one. Which one would you rather lose to?
Yep, and Instaloch gets to skip this first corner here. Beer Pressure now have to defend for the second. They find the kill on the Slaying Taffy though early, and that's what they need. Now they're getting that positional, and this is exactly what we saw on the second point. They find a pick, and now they get to push up further and get that slightly earlier hold, because you kind of take this point 3 in a set of 3 corners. That first one where you see Beer Pressure currently holding on to, followed up by the one afterwards, and then there's a third fight right at the very end, and they're creating more opportunities for themselves by doing these earlier holds. Oh, again, it's the same thing as point 2 all over again. It's deja vu, Vol.
It really is, and they're doing an excellent job doing what I call corner-to-corner fighting. They're fighting around a corner, using their poke to their advantage. When they get damaged, they finally pop around the corner, get the pick, push up to the next corner, and then use that. And Tarakton.
Oh man.
Are we gonna see it?
Oh, he's asserting his dominance.
Here it comes!
Charge on a Slaying Taffy. Bubble comes through, making him alive just a little bit, but it's not even close. Graviton Surge used on top alongside the Dragon. That may be a bit of an overcommit, but you know what? They're gonna take their fight when they can get him, because they've got a lot in store next fight when Sweet One breaks out the Nano Blade.
Yeah, they're still going to have 4 ultimates coming up here on the side of Beer Pressure. Tarakton with the sneaky charge. Excellent job from his teammates, though. When the Zarya bubble went on to Slaying Taffy, they broke the bubble. Yes, it gave the Zarya charge, but it let the pin do full damage.
Yeah, but they have a lot to worry about. Like I mentioned, that Nano Blade is going to be a key part of this next fight. Evates has to nail this sound barrier if he wants to keep his team alive. The Graviton Surge comes out the high noon on top of the sound barrier to keep the team alive, and now there's nothing. Absolutely nothing they can do about this Nano Blade. This could be bloody, folks.
This could be tough, but excellent job there, though. With everybody purple, Evates knew the team couldn't be healed up, so he dropped the beat, because the anti-nade does not counter beat. It is not a heal. It is a shield addition, so it doesn't interact that way. So excellent job on him keeping the team alive on the ground.
Oh, here it is. It's the Blade. It's Nano finds 1-0. Searching for a second, slicing and dicing all over this McCree. Searching for the Lucio. No, he's on top of this. Reinhardt and the Zarya finds a third to his name. All Cognitive Pick cleans up in the front line here. They're going to get around that first corner with 1 minute and 16 seconds left. It's Instaloch looking to continue their way here through King's Road. This is going to be a close one, Vol.
Yeah, and they're still holding on to 2 ultimates on the side of Instaloch here, whereas it's only a Hanzo Dragon on the side of Beer Pressure, and usually not something gets a lot of value on its own. You're usually having to pair it with something else, so I wonder what we're going to see here. Early Dragon.
I like this. The Dragons have been splitting up Instaloch very well, unable to continue forward on top of that. I want to see more aggression here out of Tarakton. Show us that Chad Reinhardt we all know and love. No! Slaying Taffy jumps off the map willingly.
That's what you have to do with those Dragons. If you don't have that combo, split them up, shoot it right in the middle of the team, force half to go right, force half to go left, and then you have a 6v3, a 6v4. Excellent textbook use there.
Textbook stuff so far. And again, Sweet Bones is already nearing a second blade alongside the Nano of Bad Heals, and there's nothing in the back pocket. The Beer Pressure, there's the Graviton Surge coming up, there's the Shatter. This could do it. Empress takes out Muscles, and with Evase out of the equation here, it could be bad. It's all up to Terractin now to dish out the damage on his Nano Ride. Finds the Shatter down onto 2, searching for more. Cognitive Pit taking a lot of damage, but the kills just aren't coming in. Instead, comes when they need him most in overtime. Starts to take down Retro Life, looking to clean up with that Deadeye. Finish this point off, not letting Instaloch anywhere near the end of King's Row.
Very, very solid defense there on the side of Beer Pressure. And again, I just have to give them an excellent job using the terrain to their advantage, fighting around the corners, forcing Instaloch into the open space where their pick composition can do more damage, can get the early fight damage onto them, and basically they go into the fights with more HP than their opponents. Excellently done.
Yeah, Beer Pressure looking a lot more impressive than maps prior. I'm not gonna lie, I got nervous after that first point hold went south.
That makes two of us.
Yeah, they got a lot of time taken off there on that second point choke, as well as on that third point first corner. And so they have set themselves up in a very, very winnable position here on King's Row. Now the onus is all on Instaloch. I'm very interested to see what these teams run and what they've locked in. We're seeing the same exact thing from Beer Pressure. I like that. Meanwhile, Instaloch.
Sweet buns.
Are they?
He is. He's out of spawn.
This man's gone. He's on the
charge. He's the first one to point.
Oh, man. Instaloch's breaking out the special stuff for their featured match of the week. And you know what? I couldn't be happier to see it. This Torbjorn could be a bit of a surprise.
He even has the golden tiny hammer. Sweet buns are a man after my own heart.
I think he's about to win Twitch chat over here if this can pull off a win. And if it doesn't, I think he may have done it regardless, as now the onus is on Beer Pressure to try and figure out this interesting little puzzle that Instaloch are starting to throw at them. They're making the way here out of spawn, soon to realize what they're coming up against.
Yeah, always a game of where's the turret and can we get to it without taking too much poke.
And the turret's already there. I like this rotation here out of Beer Pressure.
Nice,
Going through that hotel, they're taking the high ground. This actually, whether it's specialized for the turret or not, it actually puts them in a great position to win this fight. Taking a little bit of poke damage, but this high ground is going to be absolutely critical to how they want to win this fight. And they can rotate around however far they want, forcing Instaloch back into this hotel. Good rotation, though, out of Instaloch, allows them to make their way backwards. Paperzilla takes out Retro Life. That's a big pick now. That Widowmaker is going to gain so much just from being on that high ground, but now she's in spawn and has a lot of angles on this point. There's pretty much nothing that can counter her. Yep, she's peeking that high ground. She's searching for the Reinhardt. And Beer Pressure, they're wasting a lot of time here. They need to make this worth it. A pick has to come through out of this high ground.
Yeah, this is a very pick-centric comp. They need the Han. But Widow being harassed by Lucio here, Paper Cell.
Oh! Sling Tap, he's dropped low! A great anti-nade lands onto him, Interacted, able to finish him off, and that's the pick they were looking for. The Lucio gets distracted, unable to peel for his Reinhardt. A boop onto Terractin would have been critical there, and now the point starts to take over the way of Beer Pressure there. Zarya is in on the backline, dishing out a lot of damage. Muscles though does manage to go down, evades, dueling out Paper Seller, finds the boop down onto him. The Molten Core dropped on the point, but it's just not going to be enough to hold on here. Sweet Buns wasn't quite able to hold it down on Torbjorn. The stall does come through the Nano on Slang Taffy, and he is a real threat. Gets left down on the point, throwing the Dragon. Dropped directly on top of the Reinhardt here. It's insult to injury. This man is doomed. Ultimate after ultimate dropped on this point, and Beer Pressure will eventually take it over.
I will say the one good thing from Instaloch there is they forced out a heavy amount of ultimates on the side of Beer Pressure. They had to use the Nano. They had to... and now Retro Life over on this McCree, so dropped the visor charge that he had there. But it's not going to stop them from getting picks.
Yeah, I don't think this one's all for naught. The ultimate economy is actually pretty even right now. Evades has this sound barrier to counter pretty much anything. And the thing you're going to want to be eyeballing that for is definitely this Graviton Surge out of Muscles. Cognitive Pit does have a Deadeye in the backline. They can look to combo that. But Evades could shut it down with one press of that Q button. Terractin is pressing forward aggressively, waiting for the perfect opportunity to shatter. The entire team is behind him. He's peeking the corner. They've gotten so much free space here. Instaloch are giving Terractin way too much respect. Doomfist comes in, finds the kill, and now it's Instaloch. They're pressing forward. They know they have the advantage. There's no shield to stop slaying Taffy. Now, push comes through the Deadeye, dropped, finds two more, cleans up here easily for Instaloch.
Yeah, without that Ryan shield, Cognitive was just waiting for them to get out. Straight street there. As soon as he rounded that corner, he hit Q and just had no mercy for the enemy team.
That's it. Now Ultimate advantage distinctly in Instaloch's favor. There's a few coming up here for Beer Pressure. They can get that 30% onto those last couple ultimates. They could be in a good position. Evates does have his final sound barrier, so that's going to buy the team a whole lot of time going into this last hole, but their Graviton surged up. The sound barrier comes out. The Doomfist damage comes through. Is it going to be enough to take anybody down? No, the Shatter lands down onto one, but Terracton's already down. The bigger Shatter lands down onto Beer Pressure now as 3 members are taken out by the defying hammer of Slaying Taffy.
Slaying Taffy, give him the old, anything you can do, I can do better. Getting a massive shadow there, continuing his just alpha play from the first 2 maps. Excellent, excellent job done. Evates almost kept, well, he did keep them alive throughout the Graviton there with the sound barrier. But we're going to have a whole lot of ultimates on the side of Beer Pressure here, and I don't know if Instaloch is going to be able to weather the storm.
Keep an eye out here. It's the Graviton Surge. The Dragon is dropped late. This damage might not come through. Nope. There it is. Finds 3-1 with the Storm Arrow just to top it all off. And it's going to be Muscles running away from the rest of his team as they are doomed here. This card's going to continue forward, pushing towards the end of the point. But Instaloch have a couple tools in their pockets to stop it.
I wouldn't be surprised if Instaloch called to basically die on cart there. And especially dying to the dragon that was fired late. That way you're not giving away any extra ult charge if you're dying to that ultimate, because you can't build up ult with your ult. So they were able to die on cart, stall it out, and now they have a full 6 for this final fight here on this point.
It's a good positioning though, and I love this out of Retro Life. He puts so much pressure in just by being on that flank. Gets the nano, the electric cowboy, dropped out that high noon. Looking to stall at the point though. Instaloch are all over the shatter. Out of Terracton, finds 2, getting a little bit of revenge here down on a Slaying Taffy. But there's a nano Zarya he's got to muscle with right about now, and Slaying Taffy drops low. Muscles is just dishing out so much damage. He could do it. He's found 3, searching for a 4th. It's 2 versus 2 on point. Retro Life goes down. O's left to the task, but goes down to Cognitive Pit, who comes in just in time to save his support.
Yeah, Cognitive Pit dying early in that fight was actually a kind of a good thing for him, I guess. The fight went on so long, he was able to respawn, come in and get the last 2 picks, saving bad heals as on the Ana there was able to just stall point along with Muscles on the Zarya there, just stalling out, waiting for reinforcements to come in. Eventually, they were able to turn the tide of that fight.
They were in. Oh, Slaying Taffy finds 2 with that Fire Strike with 55 seconds on the clock. That is critical. Pick goes down on Cognitive Pit, and Terracton might be getting a little bit too big for his bridge. Fury drops extra low. No! 2 picks made here for Beer Pressure. They've turned this one around.
Yeah, and now because they had their people die first, they're going to spawn back first. I would like to see the Lucio go back and try to taxi the Korean Hanzo instead of pushing this fight, because otherwise the defenders are going to be able to get back just in time for the fight.
And with 30 seconds on the clock, this is it. It's all or nothing here. Bad heals has the nano. He sent it straight down on the Slaying Taffy. He's been big for him all night. Can he do it again? The Dragon sent in to split him in half. Slaying Taffy dropped low. The Shatter goes down on 3 people. Muscles looking to clean up, and Cognitive Pit has dropped the data. The damage is just too much out of this off-tank. Muscles has been insane all this map, and he does it yet again. That's going to be King's Row and the series taken here by Instaloch. Don't go quite yet, though, because we got another map for you.
Yeah, and again, though, I would like to point out Slaying Taffy there, giving his life for the 3-man Shatter, knowing that he has his team behind him. He's like, look, I'm low. I'm going to get these guys down. You guys follow it up. Peace. And it was just excellent job. But Impulse, like you said, just dominating that second point there, keeping the fight going, keeping his teammates alive, getting huge grab, and just getting the necessary picks when he had to.
Yes,
or not Impulse, sorry, Muscles. Wow, I'm confusing the Zarya's. My fault.
Great individual plays coming out of Instaloch, beating out Beer Pressure here on the night. There is going to be one more map. However, as we look to head into it, though, I'm going to send it over to Booth. Booth, I understand you've had a little bit of trouble with tornado warnings and Mother Nature not exactly liking you, but you did get to catch a little bit at the end of that match. How are you feeling about it?
I'm feeling happy that there's no longer a tornado warning and sirens blaring outside of my window, but am happy to see I got the little bit of the end of that fight there. Ended up seeing those last couple of kills at the very end from the side of Beer Pressure to end up losing there to Instaloch. Instaloch looking so strong, and I think their tank play has been incredibly dominant so far in tonight's game. In all the maps across, we've seen that. But I think especially here, Kings Row, one of those very linear maps that Ryan Zarya can end up dominating through. So congrats to Instaloch on the W tonight. We will be moving to Route 66 though for our last map tonight.
I think it's an interesting map pick here out of Beer Pressure. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do. Traditionally, Dive has worked here, but the Reinhardt Diva might just offer up a little something. I feel like Impers might spot back just because he's not feeling the Zarya right now. I think it was definitely better than the Diva individually, but it's just hard to even up the amount of pressure that Muscles has been putting on. This man has been an absolute standout for Instaloch. The Instaloch tank line as a whole has been incredible tonight, making a ton of clutch plays and holding it down for their side. But they got to do it for one more map here. Beer Pressure take him into Route 66. Vol, what do you expect to see?
I expect to see the same thing we saw on King's Row. I really like this pick. I think they're going to come out on the double sniper. First 2 points, you've got a lot of open side. Oh, I hope. A man can think. And actually, surprisingly, I do want to talk about something that you mentioned. We have seen a distinct lack of May from these two teams. Not the dominant pick that we've been seeing. We saw it a little bit on the control point maps. We saw it a bit on the second map there, but I don't think we saw it at all on King's Row. And if it was, it wasn't there for very long. So these teams definitely coming out with some funky stuff. Although it does look like Retro Life is coming out, as I said, it's coming out. But you were right. We are going to see some dive unless they get a last-second change here on the side of Instaloch.
So
you think that's a smart choice?
I'm not surprised by the pick from Instaloch. I like that they're running heroes they're comfortable on. It's clearly netting them wins. They don't need the May to try and net them wins. In fact, Sweet Buns, I'm not gonna hold back on this one. Sweet Buns did not look good for the few seconds that he was playing May. It doesn't seem like a comfort pick for him. Meanwhile, O played the May for a while. He looked great on it, and now they've actually swapped Retro Life over to it and keeping O on that Hanzo, which it is one of his real signature heroes, and I think it might be a good idea, but we're going to have to see just how much Retro Life can hold it down here, because this dive is going to be tough to counter.
Oh, this is something we haven't seen in a while. The Scouting Sombra from Cognitive Pit gets the information, knows what they're running, knows they're running that May Hanzo, goes back to the Tracer, and now they're going to be ready to dive.
This dive is going to be a real threat here. Tarakton's already on that low ground, which means its supports are up in the open on top of this gas station, but it's not paying off. The dive hasn't come through, and a lot of damage on top of the Winston and the Genji, who are going to be the first to go down. The rest does go through, searching for more right now. Beer Pressure can't be getting too big for their britches, as the damage is starting to add up here for Instaloch. Impers is very, very purple, but Sweet Bun goes down, and this is not the kind of fight you want to be taking if you're dive. You can't be just taking this head on. You got to take out space, you got to take space, and you got to not get hit by a hammer like that. My God, Tarakton finds 4.
These people have families, man. You can't just do that to people.
They just get increasingly bigger. We see like it's a 1-man shatter, and then a 2, and then a 3, and then Tarakton fires back with the biggest one of the night. What on earth?
That is the problem with dive, is once you use that Winston bubble, the Reinhardt knows there's no shield anywhere else, and he's free to shatter. And like you said, you cannot take these prolonged fights when you're diving. You have to find a target, you have to dive on them, and you have to dive on them very quickly as a team. Prolonged fights are only going to favor the Rein Diva.
Oh, and Retro Life taking a note out of O's book. Dome's Cognitive Pit out of the fight, but the dive does go down. Takes out Evates, and now Impers out of the mech. It's going to be a rough fight here for Beer Pressure, as Tarakton just has to jump on top of his cart, live for as long as he can, while we'll keep him alive for the time being. The Dragon drops onto the cart here from O, not finding anybody with a Storm Arrow, will finish off Bad Heals. In fact, finds another one down on the Sweet Buns. This fight might just get turned around if they can stay alive for just a little bit longer. Evates finds one, but with Retro Life down, that's a lot of that stagger potential out of the way. Diva does manage to get remixed, so they will get another attempt here on point A, and there's a lot of ultimates in these teams' time banks.
Yeah, Muscle's trying to do a trying to zone them off, but unfortunately pays for it with his life, and now they're going to have V5 coming on this point, and you have to back up here on the side of Instaloch, but they're going to throw the bomb in!
And the bomb's not going to find anything there. I'm sorry to say, there's not much over there. I don't know what you're aiming for, Impers, but it's nothing good. Or, pardon me, Slang Taffy, but it's nothing good. And now the members are back up for Instaloch. The dive can't come through, but the leap has already been used, and it's a one-on-one fight that they're trying to do here. Just this face-to-face duel, 6v6, and that's not what you can be taking as a dive composition. Muscles is taking a ton of damage. The bomb dropped in the back. There's nothing to block it. Everybody's forced backwards, and now the kills are starting to roll in. That pressure adds up, and when you're not diving onto a critical target here as Instaloch, you're not going to be finding those kills.
Yeah, I have to question the decision. Muscles is diving Tarakton on the Reinhardt, and that is the absolute last person who would dive. A, he's got 200 armor, so he's already the minuscule damage that Tesla Cannon is doing is lowered even more. And you're never gonna kill him. You're just gonna, the Ana is gonna out heal the Lucio's gonna out heal you, for goodness sake. I mean, you've got to pick a squishier target, my man.
Keep an eye out though. Sweet Buns has the blade and the Nano's down on top of it. Search for Guava de Jour, but a great sound barrier. Get out of Evades is going to be keeping alive for the time being. Doesn't get the dash reset quite yet. In fact, held off for the entirety of that Nano Blade. And Impulse though will find one in the back line. Tarakton gets the Nano, takes down Slaying Taffy. Guava de Jour finally goes down after all of that trouble they went through. They're going to get one, but it's definitely not enough to finish off Fight Muscles. Takes out Tarakton with that Primal Rage Zone. With that main tank now out of the way, it's going to be a pretty good opportunity here for Instaloch to start pushing in. Beer Pressure needs to respect this positioning.
Yeah, I'm always excited to see the Nano Blade, but Sweet Buns kind of went in by himself. He didn't have any help from the monkey. He didn't have any help from anybody else. And so that was just a questionable dive and the questionable use of ultimates there. Fortunately, they had more ultimates to back up and were able to win that fight.
And now the trickle's coming in here from Beer Pressure. I don't like how they played this at all. They've lost 1, 2. Remember, they're slowly just bleeding themselves out. They had time for full regroup, and they did not use it. And that's going to allow Instaloch to take over this first point basically for free now. They're going to continue on with a pretty sizable ultimate bank behind them. But Beer Pressure are keeping up, and this second point is all but over.
Yeah, and I do like the switch actually from Slaying Taffy back onto the Reinhardt. Tarakton was going to get a free shadow. Now you have that extra shield to block it. And as we've seen all night, Slaying Taffy has just been doing an excellent job on this Reinhardt. And I'm excited to see some more Rind games going on.
That we are here, but Tarakton's got the first shatter. And that's going to be something to look out for. The Nano Blade's already charged up. Sweet Buns, you're a madman. He goes down on the Guava de Jour, finds the first kill, searching for a second one here on the Retro Life. Not going to find it, but Cognitive Pit will clean up the main tank in the meantime. Purse down on the high ground. And that's easy pickings now for Instaloch because they maintain 3 ultimates in their bank.
Not only do they maintain 3 ultimates, they maintain 3 people on the cart. That was only a 3-man push, ostensibly, and they're going to be able to cap the second point with only 1 fight. That's absolutely incredible.
You know what? I gotta say, Beer Pressure gave that one to him for free by allowing them that first point with that trickle. That was a big decision made by them, and not one that should have been made. Tracking up too aggressively on the first point. Retro Life gets him out though. Safely recovered, and 6 ultimates coming up for Beer Pressure. If there was a chance for them to stabilize, it's now. Instaloch have regained that entire time bank they lost in the first point, so now it's a pretty much even game heading into point C.
Yeah, huge. We're going to have 6 plus 3, 4, 10 ultimates here once Sweet Buns gets his Nano Blade, which should be very quick. And we're going to open up with a bomb.
Bombs out, charge goes through, Tarakton whiffs, and that's going to be a sound barrier used here from the side of Beer Pressure. Doesn't hit their main tank though, as he was walled off by their own Mei. Evades has to peel for him, but it's not enough to keep him alive. Slaying Taffy now has a shatter, and there's not a shield in his way that could stop him. He finds 3. Muscle is cleaning up a full charge target to do it. The Blizzard trying to peel, but there's no damage to follow up here in Beer Pressure. It's dire straits for them. They've got 3 ultimates in their back pocket, and they're going to have to use them to the absolute best of their ability if they want a chance of holding on to this 3rd point. Slaying Taffy continues the aggression forward here. 2 fights in a row now. The Dragon dropped down the point, trying to keep everyone alive, but they've got a Nano Blade, and Sweet Buns is looking to close out the series. The Shatter goes down on top from the Graviton Surge, though. It's absolutely everybody here looking to clean up. Impulse on the other side. He's gold, but he's also gone here. The Mei still alive. The Steiger's starting to come through it. The Doomfist here on point gets the Nano boost, searching for a kill. Not able to do anything. His Retro Life goes down on the Mei. Guava de Jour, a helpless little odd on the point. Can't even find the sleep on the Muscles. Evades goes down, and it's just 2 tanks remaining as this cart pushes through with a minute left on the clock.
Wow, if you would have told me after that first one that they were going to not only cap all 3 points, but cap it with over a minute left in the time bank, I would have thought you were crazy. What a turnaround on those last 2 points. That switch to the Reinhardt from Slaying Taffy absolutely changed the entire map.
Yeah, Instaloch were just they're trying to make it exciting, we'll say.
Yeah.
They had so much trouble getting through that first point. That dive looked absolutely abysmal, and I can almost guarantee you they have not practiced it.
No.
If you've practiced dive for more than 30 minutes, you don't dive a Reinhardt. That's
No.
I think that's basic stuff. But then they speed ran the second 2 points, so I can't even be mad at them because this team just looks unstoppable when they're on that Reinhardt composition.
Yeah, it's definitely devastating. And one thing that out of the side of Beer Pressure is on their ultimate usage. Those Diva Bombs, they're throwing in these naked Diva Bombs, these entry Diva Bombs, but they're not following it up with anything. And you can't just do that. Teams at this level, you're not unless you get an awkward fall and it hits part of the roof and it falls where they're not going to expect it. They're going to be able to avoid it. So you're going to need to throw in a Diva Bomb, shatter behind it, throw in a Deadeye so that you're forcing the Reinhardt to choose where to turn his shield, or a Bomb Shatter, something like that. You got to start comboing ults. You can't just use single-use ultimates at this level. Teams are too coordinated, and players are just too good.
Attackers incoming.
And now heading out, we're seeing the Reinhardt locked in here for Slaying Taffy. It's already coming out. They're done with that dive. They want to win this game, and they want to win it now. They're searching for that full hold, and they think this is the composition to do it. They've locked in what they've been running most of the time. Sweet Buns, interestingly enough, though, on a Soldier 76, and with this high ground, he's going to be a real threat. Slaying Taffy dishes out a lot of damage on Interaction, forces him back towards the supports. Fire Strike lands down onto 2, and the dive goes in on the back line. Oh, Retro Life gets slapped!
That's sweet.
It's huge! And now there's free reign in the front line here for Instaloch as they start to pick up the pieces. Ozon Torbjorn and not doing much.
No, but huge call out for Sweet Buns there. That's how you support your supports. That's how you peel for them. Excellent job sticking with bad heals. As soon as that sleep went in, he was on that Doomfist like White Arm Race and just hit him with a rock, hit him with a punch, and he was done.
Yeah, we probably should have mentioned this earlier. We talked about it during halftime, you and I, but bad heals, anti-nades have been absolutely incredible. This man just hits nade after nade after nade, 3+ people time after time, and it's going to win him more and more fights as this game goes on. The Cognitive Pit has some cojones, steps by the line, drops the Deadeye, and Interacted's off the edge of the map. This man's taking a drink down in whatever's at the bottom of that canyon. I'm assuming there's a river there.
Ooh, looking at yep. I do see some blue. You do see some blue down there.
Well, I think that's what's supposed to be at the bottom, unless we're on like plateaus. There should be a river at the bottom of a canyon. I think that's how that works.
I'm
a comp sci major, not a geology major. Yeah, it's we'll call it even. We'll assume I'm right for the time being, because right now, Beer Pressure, there's one thing I do know about. They're in trouble. 2 minutes and 9 seconds left on the clock, and the ultimates are looking like they're all about to be up here for Instaloch. Sweet Buns has been such a threat on this high ground, and Beer Pressure are choosing to wrap their way around, but they might just run straight into a Graviton Surge here. Muscles is looking to dish out the damage. He's waiting for the opportunity. There it is. The visor dropped on the high ground. Not really going to be doing much, though. I like this out of Beer Pressure. Smart little disengage is going to allow them to just back right up to the card. Cognitive Pit is going to be there waiting. Takes out who's been sitting there getting a little bit of free space. Says, nay, no more for you. You don't get to move a meter further. Impulse trying to deal out damage, but he just can't get anywhere in on the Zarya. Attracting charges in. Gets Nano. Shatters 3. That could be big enough. The Fire Strike goes through. He's swinging the hammer, and that's the Reinhardt now gone. Paper Seller, nice proof to peel, but it's not going to be enough against the hammer of Tarakton in action now. Cleaning up for this team when they need him most.
Excellent job from Tragner, getting through in the shatter. Slaying Taffy tried to counter shatter there, but there just wasn't anybody up after the huge shatter from Tarakton to take advantage of it. And the side of Beer Pressure actually gets pushed, but nobody's on the cart. Okay, there they go. They jumped off the cart for a second there. I was getting worried.
And now it's going to be another push coming in here from Instaloch, and they're wrapping around. I like this high ground hold. It's going to offer them a lot of space. There it is. The Graviton Surge used. There's nothing to follow up on the high ground, though. What can you even do? Oh, an anti-nade, though. You're out of Graviton. Jordan might just be what they need to win this fight. There's a lot of damage going down onto Instaloch with a high noon at a retro life. Oh, it slipped. Oh my god, and bad heals does it when they have to get him to do it. Now O's down on the high ground. He's got the visor. He's looking to clean up with 33 seconds left. He finds one. He doesn't find a second because Paper Seller goes in with cojones of steel.
Lucio, that's not your job.
Visoring Soldier to death. Now diving Empress. This man feels invincible right now.
The absolute brass ones on this guy are chick. A visoring Soldier, I don't care who you are, you don't take that 1v1, but he hits the amp it up, gets in his grill, and just says, I'm more accurate than your aimbot.
Yeah, it wasn't even like, oh, I'm close to you, I'll duel you. He pressed E, speed boosted towards him and took the duel, but now they've got more to worry about. This point is not one yet. Teractin's in their backline, he's flashing, he's down. Fear Pressure still looking to take it over. They've got some tools to do it. Ultimate online for Empress in just a little bit, unless he goes down. Overtime starts to tick over. This McCree's gonna try to hold the sound barrier out of Paper Life is gonna be keeping this point alive, and Instaloch think they've got this one all locked up. Oh, and Retro Life touched the point, but it's just 200 HP of pop, and they're gonna go down the shatter from Slang Taffy to end it all, and that's it. Instaloch end the series 4-0.
Wow. First point hold there, just domination through and through. That was unexpected to say the least. I know I picked Instaloch to win, but I did not have them in a 4-0, not even close.
Yeah, they looked very, very impressive, especially individually. Don't get me wrong, their team play was great, but they individually, Muscles, Sweet Buns, Slang Taffy, Bad Heels, just looked amazing. And then Paper Seller at the end gets the highlight play on the Lucy. He says, I want one as well. And that's going to be it for the match. I want you guys to keep an eye out, though. We're throwing one more poll up in the chat. Figure out who's the more Chad Ryan. We saw the biggest Chad of the night, as a matter of fact, come out from Teractin. He managed to hit 4 members. Meanwhile, the biggest one that Slang Taffy was able to hit was out of 3. But that aggression and those kills on Volskaya are just too much to match. Who do you guys think was? Go ahead and put your vote down in the chat. But that's the series for the night. Instaloch take it 4-0. Congratulations to them. Vol, any closing notes on how the series went?
Very, very surprising, but my goodness, Slang Taffy putting his name in the hat for best Ryan in the tier, I would think, with that performance. He just announced himself to the entire division. These guys may have not had a win going into this, but they showed that they are for real. They are to be feared, and they are not just going to lie down and accept a D pool placement. They're going to fight and fight incredibly hard.
Yes, sir. And now that's going to be it for tonight. Don't forget, though, upcoming this week, we do have Poisonous versus Venomous for your Transcendent tier match tomorrow. Followed up Sunday, a little bit of a special feature for you guys. Fighting Potatoes versus Comet. The series is still tied, or still paused up at 2-1. Fighting Potatoes so near their reverse sweep, so near their comeback when they got, unfortunately, server crashed. And
that was rough.
We're going to finish that one off. That was a rough one, but I can't wait to see how it turns out. Stay tuned in for that little special broadcast. Then Tuesday following is to be Modify Up versus Karma, and then Maelstrom versus One Tricks, that upcoming Thursday. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in tonight. Hope you keep an eye out for more of those polls, and thanks to Vol for coming in. Vol, is there anything you want to shout out, your Twitter or anything?
Just Vol Nilo, Twitch and Twitter, /Vol Nilo. I had an excellent time tonight. Thank you for having me, and that was an excellent, excellent match. Booth?
Yeah, hey, they're back again. Yeah, it was definitely a fun match tonight. Interesting concept here, trying to get these statistics working. Hopefully next time I don't run into Weather. Whoever else is running through desk is able to be here throughout the rest of the match to give more feedback on. But you guys can follow me at Booth_OW on Twitter as well.
All right. I have been Door. You guys know me at Door_cast on Twitter, pardon me. And thank you again to Juke, our wonderful, wonderful producer. He's been doing an amazing job. I know you guys love the replays. Keep giving